This video we're gonna climb Kings Peak, the highest point in Utah, via the Henry Fork Trailhead and Dollar Lake. Subscribe to Slow Boat Sailing. We help you crush your outdoor adventure. Okay, I'm here at the campground for kind of livestock trailers, but also you can have RVs here. There's a guy that didn't have an RV but was camped here. It's about a quarter of the mile from the Henry Forks Trailhead. I did check out the Henry Forks Trailhead. It was very full, so like camping there I think would be very noisy. So there are a lot of people camped on the boondocking sites prior to that with their travel trailers, but this is a pretty nice site, although they're not super long. They're more for cattle trailers, not the biggest of the RVs, but there's also pens here that you can put your cattle. So I wish I had a pack animal to carry my tent to Dollar Lake, but I've been spending the day just like reducing the weight of my pack so it's below 50 pounds so that I don't kill myself on the walk up. Okay, so the standard route is Henry Forks Trailhead, and then we go down through Gunsight Pass, and then we're gonna deviate from the trail to get up to Kings Peak, but there's gonna be kind of a V, and then we get on the saddle and then take on Kings Peak after going through Gunsight Pass. So like with all Forest Service land, there's only 14 days of camping, and you're not supposed to camp or poop within 200 feet of a trail, lake, pond, stream. So parties can't be more than 14, but that's about it on the restrictions. There's pit toilets here at the horse corral and also at the trailhead, so you can use those before you go. Of course, there's no trash disposal anywhere, so you have to pack out all your trash out of the national forest. You can see about a little after noon, maybe 1 o'clock, there's over 24 cars here at the trailhead. It's a Friday, so I assume there'll be more. This is a weekend before 4th of July weekend, so it's a little early in the season, but as you can see, it's a pretty popular place. You've got a high pointers bench, you got a sign-in. There were about 12 people that had signed in the book over there, and for today, it's about 12 people a day. It takes them 2 days, 3 days. It's how you get the over 24 cars. You know, most are single groups, but some are as many as 3 I saw. I didn't see anybody that had pack animals that signed in, at least for today. Okay, so this is the first day. It's Saturday. You can see behind me, parking lot is full about at 7 a.m. There's still a few parking spaces open, and I assume more will come out. Sun came up about 6 a.m., a little before 6. Feeling better today. I think the altitude got me a little bit yesterday, and that's why I didn't feel like setting out. We're at about 9,200, 9,300 feet, and you're really only supposed to go to 8,000 and sleep a day, and Dollar Lake's about 10,600, so you probably want to wait another day before. So really 2 days of acclimatization is 2 days is optimal, 2 to 3. It's been a long time since I've been above 8,000 feet. That was about back in Mount Hood, And then I don't think I was sleeping at 8,000 feet. I was just sleeping at 8,000 feet was Boundary Peak a couple weeks ago. So we're gonna climb Kings Peak. We're gonna stop at Dollar Lake. I think there's about 9 miles, about 5 miles in. We're looking for the Elkhorn Crossing footbridge, which they say is out, but reportedly has been fixed. And I think it's gonna be a cold night. At Dollar Lake, I got a negative 20-degree bag, but I only have my hard pad. I'm not gonna use the inflatable pad to save weight today. Try that for once. Sometimes I've camped with a inflatable without the hard pad. I'm going to try the hard pad without the inflatable, see if I like that better or that's unbearable. We will see. You can always get an early start. We also got a report from a couple that finished the Gunsight Pass. Was pretty slippery before 9 a.m. and then you could post hole through the snow, but it was icy, so I'm bringing my aluminum crampons and my ice axe. Ice axe not super heavy. Aluminum crampons are about half the weight of my 12-point front pointing crampons, which I normally bring. And so just trying to save weight, keep under 50 pounds on the pack and make it bearable. Just take a lighter summit pack that doesn't include the camping gear. We get to Dollar Lake, then we can leave most of our gear there, and our camping gear there, and our food stores with our bear. They're made to be bear resistant, and then we can go to the summit. Okay, so this is the kind of the first view. You can see the mountain in the background, or a mountain. I don't know which mountain it is. But the first few miles are in the trees here. It's just a beautiful trail. I see why it's so popular. Such a nice day, perfect weather so far. We're gonna keep on going. Okay, so this trail, of course, follows Henry's Fork, the stream. So of course you could use this to refill your water, as long as you have a way to treat it or filter it. Being said, there are lots of times where you're very far from the trail. The stream is maybe hundreds of feet down, but you know, within every few miles, it seems like there's a place where you can get to water relatively easily without leaving the trail very much. So I'm a little before 5 to 6 miles in. I'm at the Elkhorn footbridge here. I'm stopping here for lunch to get a dehydrated meal and refill my water, which of course I will treat. So the mile or so after the bridge, the big bridge, is pretty wet. A lot of little rock hopping to avoid muddy boots. But I haven't seen any snow yet here in this last weekend of June. And got a quite good view of the High Unitas Mountains now. Feel like we're approaching them very closely. We still have trees to pass through, and I have not seen Dollar Lake from a distance. But I think we probably have at least 2 more miles to go, and maybe 600 feet or more. So the 2 hikers that went by said that pyramid that is kind of peeking between the 2 peaks, so it's kind of small from the view, is Kings. And then there's a ridge which is Gunsight, which is just 1 hill over from it. Starting with Gunsight here, that big thing is not it, and then that pyramid is Kings Peak in the middle, And I assume that's Anderson Pass, which looks quite steep. I wouldn't want to try that. I'd rather do Gunsight right here in the middle of the view. So until the sun goes down, this tent, it's super hot. It was only kind of cool when we had a little rain shower, but oh man, this is a hot, warm tent. I got it because it was warmer than my other one-man tent, but it's too hot when the sun's up. I'm sure I'm going to be freezing tonight. Okay, I have camp set up. You can see the tent there. I set it up. I probably pitched the tent by 3, and I had dinner before 6, but it's about 7 o'clock now, and it's still 100 degrees in the tent, so I can't go to bed until sun sets. Otherwise, I'm gonna sweat and then I'm gonna freeze. So I'll probably boil another thing of water, drink more water, waiting for the sun to set, and then it's kind of a race to not get cold, start putting on layers, changing into wool socks, etc. So this Underwood Aggregator is a single tent. I think I'll put a link in the description. I really like it as a cold weather tent. Maybe it's too warm for this. I had another one that was mostly screen inside. There's just a small screen there. I think this tent might be good for Aconcagua because it's got the flaps and you could just put rocks on it. But at the moment it's not great, but it might be good for tonight, where it's going to get down into the 40s at least, but probably in the 30s. Sorry, the sun's in my eyes. So we got a very clear view of the mountain, and talked to another group. They said that after you go through Gunsight, then you gain the top of Anderson Pass, and then you're kind of going on the ridge there to the top, which can be a bit scrambly at times. So we'll see. It doesn't look like a great trail up there. I don't see any trail markers, but I thought the trail kind of, if you look at the map, there's no trail. There's the summit there. There's no trail after Gunsight Pass, more or less. It's more a route. So the other thing is you want to have your bear stuff in a particular location. So I have a bear jar. So you want to put the bear jar away. Anything that's fragrant, or anything that is any food, you want to put in the bear jar, and then you want to avoid, so the bear doesn't attack your tent, it attacks the bear jar, and the bear jar should be far from your tent and in some place where it won't roll down the hill after the bear gets tired of it. But you could also try to hoist from a tree. I don't know that there's a ton of overhanging limbs here, so a bear jar is probably better. I haven't seen any bears today, but I saw all kinds of moose, all kinds of deer, and elk in this woods, but I haven't seen a bear yet. Small thing of bug spray, but I would say you want to have a big, easy one to do, maybe a aerosol for here, because if the winds are not high enough, we're kind of lucky that the winds are a little high at the moment, then those mosquitoes are going to get you. They really love to swarm where you're cooking, so I ended up separating my cooking and stuff like that. They also are attracted to pooping, so watch out for nether regions. They're just, there's all kinds. So this is a cat hole territory, so you dig cat holes 200 feet from trails, more than 200 feet from water. I think there's 6 to 8 inches in diameter and depth, something like that. And then cover them over, and you pack out your toilet paper. So it's not at least it's not a blue bag area such as Mount Hood or White Mountain. It's not, or not White Mountain, but well, White Mountain might be a blue bag area, but Whitney is a blue bag or wag bag area. But here the ground is fine for digging cat holes, and it's not that high use, despite I've seen a lot of people on the trail for this. I was told I'm about 5 miles from the summit, and my watch says I'm 11,000 feet. I think I'm not exact. I think it may not be at. I might have missed Dollar Lake, and this is a different lake, and I'm camping nearby. I think down there is Henry's Fork Lake. Down trailways is kind of so good. You'd go down to Henry Fork. I think Dollar is a little bit higher than the trail, and I might have missed the turn for that. I'm a little further on. I saw some people camping over that direction, saw some people camping in this direction. Don't really see anybody camping around here, but it's pretty flat, easy to drive a stake, so pretty easy camping overall. Okay, so I had a pretty good night last night, slept pretty well, got 8 hours of sleep, refilled the water, and got a good breakfast, and now it's about 7:30. Gonna go for the summit and get back, hopefully. Okay, we got a Gunside Pass sign here. It also has a Henry Forks Lakes trail. I don't see where that is, but this is supposedly where the trail splits. I only see the trail to Gunside Pass, that little gap in the mountains there. It's still pretty cool right now, but one thing I learned on Aconcagua is that when you're in the shade of the mountain, it's a lot cooler than when you're in the sun. And so there'll be parts of the day where you're shaded by the mountain, and it'll be a lot colder, and then the temperature will pick up once the sun comes out. Right now we're in the shade of the mountain, but you can see we only had to walk a few hundred yards and towards Gunside Pass, and we'll be in the sun, and I'll probably end up taking off my coat. Okay, I'm on the big cairn for Gunside Pass. So it turns out I did not take the switchbacks. I kind of missed the switchbacks and took the fast way down the valley, or up the valley. It was not that steep, actually. It wasn't intentional to miss the switchbacks. So I might do that on the way down too, because it was such a quicker. I think it saved a lot of distance, and it wasn't that bad of a scramble. This is the giant cairn at the top of Gunside Pass. Very windy here. At the top of Gunside Pass, I don't think you can see Kings Peak. You can see it from the valley down below. So I saw several people coming over the ridge after summiting very early. And I'm just going to keep on going around. They say you go down and around this mountain right next to me, and then you get Anderson Pass, and then you get the ridge up to Kings Peak. Okay, so I gained the ridge of the summit to the left of Gunside Pass. I got some bad advice from some hikers that I was supposed to take the trail down, but thankfully all trails set me straight. Gaining this ridge is really sketchy. I missed the trail. Even when I reconnected to the trail, it was pretty sketchy. It's a bit of a scree slope, and you've got cairns like the one I am right next to here to lead your way, but little else. But that was a bit of a scramble through rocks that can give way. They're generally hold pretty well because they're generally pretty big and pretty stable, but you never know when the mountain comes tumbling down. So I'm at the top of Anderson Pass. You can see it's quite windy. I'm gonna put on my jacket pretty soon. We've just been rock hopping these boulders, and it's just been very slow going. Really haven't gained any altitude. Probably lost some to get to Anderson Pass, and then the final climb is here. So there's thunderstorms behind me. I didn't notice them until just now. I've been going through some desperate scrambling through boulders. I lost what remnants of the trail there were, but I think I'm back on the old trails track. Very challenging. I would not say this is class 2. Final summit. Okay, I'm going to try to refilm this just a little bit out of the wind because at the top of Kings Peak, the wind is like crazy. This is very difficult scramble, class 3. Don't believe people that tell you it's class 2. You come up the you come up the southwest ridge, and while there is a trail, all trails, you want to just stick to all trails. Don't deviate from all trails. That's the best route. I was constantly having to recheck all trails, make sure I didn't lose the trail. I'm going to continue to do that on the way down. We had thunderstorms rolling in around 2 p.m. On the other side of Gunsight Pass. Thankfully, it didn't come over here. We didn't get much rain. The skies are clear now, but it is very breezy at the summit. You can see I'm just a few rocks below the summit to avoid the winds. So at least we were a little bit out of the winds when we were going up. I'm sure I'm probably one of the last people to summit today. This is one of my latest summits. I'm not really happy about it being so late, this summit. I really underestimated the mountain and the trail, and what to expect. This is my 13th state high point, lucky number 13. I kept on going mostly because I just didn't want to do it again. Didn't want to do all the prep time, coming to Utah, all the expense, and waiting to get up here and then come up empty, so close from the summit. So we're going to get down, and hopefully we'll get back to the camp before it's too dark, which is a little near Dollar Lake. Subscribe to Slowboat Sailing. We do the 50 state high points, and we help you crush your outdoor adventure. Back, I took this, angled toward this large cairn, which you can see from the saddle, especially the lower saddle, and I think that saves you a lot of time. It took me like 2 hours to do the traverse, which is at the same altitude, versus going up and going down, kind of a straight shot. It was just a lot easier because traversing on a angled boulder field is harder than just going across a flat boulder field, or especially a trail. I think there's even a trail that'll lead you most of the way, although I cut it and did the flat boulder fields. So I'm going to try to catch the cairns back to Gunsight Pass, It's 7 o'clock. Wish me luck.